Dinosaur here with another episode of learning how to write good survey questions. So we left off, oh my gosh, I can't even see my mouse. Sorry guys, I'm not sure how long Dr. Dinosaur can function in this digital world, but maybe my mouse is somewhere on the screen. Maybe you can see it, I don't know. Anyway, we are discussing, Dr. Dinosaur has human hands, how we are going to test the Dressing for Success survey. Now, you were supposed to all take it. I should have 58 responses, and as we can see, I've only had 12 of you out of 58 answer, but that's okay. We'll go from there. Okay, so, sorry guys. Let's take a look at what was bad and what was good, because that's what we're trying to analyze about when you think you have a good idea, but your questions don't match what you're trying to actually do. So when we pulled up the first question, now remember that we are trying to answer, oh, Dr. Dinosaur's got good hair. Dressing for success increases test grades. So the things we are trying to study is dressing for success and if it increases test grades. I purposely made a bad survey. That was question 3 here. So here were the bad questions that we saw right here. Is, which of the following styles do you like best? Dressed up, lazy, sporty. Okay, first of all, there's 2 major things wrong with this. Just because you like a certain style has no bearing on whether or not you wore it when you took a test or if you wore it and you did better. Also, what do these even mean? What is dressed up? What is lazy? Obviously, lazy means different for many of us. And now, you know, being in our pajamas is the new dressed up right now at home. So this question is kind of outdated for this. But, okay, so that's a problem there. Okay, then look at this question. All students do better in school when they dress up. If you watched the last video, you will know that you can't speak for all. Some do and some don't. And also, do you know about all students? You don't know about all students. You know about you. You could ask this question, I do better when I dress up, and then just give an opinion. And you know I'm also going to have issues with the fact that there's only 2 answers. Yes, no. There's always a gray area. There's always a middle ground of a maybe. All right. I am a, okay, so hopefully we see some issues here. A, B, C, D, or failure. That was, the question itself isn't biased, but the fact that you put failure in there, then kids are naturally going to be, oh, you know what's funny? If I put failure. And out of the 12 of you, I can see that 2 of you, I don't know if you can see it, the screen's kind of cut up. 2 of you said you're a failure. And you're not. I know you're not failures. All right. What were you wearing the last time you got an A on a test? Oh, I'm really worried about going through these live. And I really hope there's nothing bad here, but let's take a seat. Okay. Sweatpants, sweats, leggings, hoodie, no bra, fuzzy socks, and slides. Okay. Probably sweatpants and a sweater, a hoodie, cargo shirts. Ooh, a cute shirt. Wow, this person knew exactly what they were wearing. I don't know, but it was 5. IDK, never. So like, here's a problem. You never wore clothes, or you never remembered what you were wearing. You never took a test. See, this is where you have to be really careful about giving people open answers because you guys are taking this. This is your data, and you're putting crazy things down. Imagine when you send your surveys out to the world and they really have no stake in it. Because remember, again, the question was, what were you wearing the last time you got an A on a test? Never. I guess that also could have been never have I gotten an A. Bad question, and it's really hard to answer. Dressing up increases grades. Again, it's a yes, no. There's a middle ground. There's got to be a sometimes, always, never. Sometimes, often, rarely, never. Things like that. Okay, so these were bad. So when we talked about our thing, why were they bad? Hey, we just talked about that. Cool. So let's talk about this next one. Again, we are trying to study if dressing for success increases grades. So we rewrote the questions. We, meaning me, rewrote the question. All right, I'm going to scoot this over just a little bit. All right, so think back to the last test you took. Okay, on a scale of 0 to 10, with 10 being very dressed up, how would you rate the way you were dressed up on the last day of your test? Now, if you remember, the last time I asked this question, it was just, what do you like best? Which had nothing to do with the comparing the test to how dressed up you were. The other thing you have to consider is what I consider a 10, someone else might consider a 5. So you want to judge it on a scale of how people felt dressed up, not just, oh, someone's like, oh, well, I was wearing a button-down shirt. For some people, that's just a regular day, and for some people, that's really dressed up. So by giving them a scale, ooh, this person was dressed up. Got one person here. But you'll be able to get a much better idea of the level of dressed up and not just lazy, sporty, whatever. Okay. Then it just said, think back to the last test you took. Not the last time you got an A, just the last time you took a test. Then, what grade did you get? If you remember, the last time we asked this question was thinking back to the last time that they got an A. Now, hopefully that isn't that long ago for many of you, is that you got an A sometimes recently. But for some people, it may have been a while. So rather than asking the last time they got an A, it's just the last test they took or quiz should not have been that long ago. And then they can say what grade they got. So 95, 80, 75, B, 58. Oh my goodness. Etc. Much better data. Much better data than probably sweatpants and a sweater. That doesn't help. Okay. What kind of class was it? Now, when we wonder about why this would matter, if everybody is saying they got an A, but it was all in health, that doesn't really help me with my dressing for success thing. So this person that said AP, I'm going to show you in a second, I can actually see if that person in AP was my person who said 58 or if they were 100. Okay. Then I dress up on test days. Doesn't say all students, it's just what I do. Okay, so most people say never. Some people said always. What accurately describes your grades? Now, if you remember the last time we asked this question is I said, let me find it, failure, and 2 of you said failure. But when I made it not as joking, no one said lower because it's not funny to say lower. So if you don't make your choices be funny, people are more apt to do this. Also, you're going to see most people, it's easy to break apart A's, B's, and C's when you do something like this. This is one way to do them, A's, and B's, because let's be honest, and here we are honest. Before, look at how I had 2 people said that they're always A's, but when I gave them the option of A's and B's, they're like, yeah, I do the B's, because most of us are not straight A students, but we're in between. Same thing with B's and C's, is giving those options. You also can always do GPA. The one thing you have to be careful about is if you are doing freshmen typically don't know their GPAs yet because they've only had 1 semester. That's why this is another way to go. All right. And then just rewriting that question that we had before, but with strongly agree, disagree, neither agree nor disagree. Now, I purposely put this on here because I want to show you how hard it is to analyze data when you give a I don't want to answer response. On all of your feedbacks I've been doing is I've been saying strongly disagree, disagree, agree, strongly agree. Because when you give people this option, there's like, whatever, I don't care. And so now the majority of my responses are nothing, neither agree nor disagree. That doesn't help me with my hypothesis at all. So don't even give them that choice, make that go away, and then go with your where more people are leading. Okay, so we've got some good analysis here about this, but this itself as a graph isn't that helpful because it's just one graph. One thing that we're going to be looking at this week is if you actually go over here to individual responses, don't worry, it's anonymous before you start freaking out like, oh my God, I'm about to get blasted by Dr. Oldham / Dr. Dinosaur about what I got. But so for example, this person said on a scale of 0 to 10, 0, they were not dressed up at all. I hope they were still wearing clothes. They got a 95. It was a regular test day. B, a C student. And they disagree, which makes sense to me. They disagreed. They got a 95 and more dressed up. So you can actually scroll through all your responses. And what's really good is that if you have someone who puts a joke answer down, look, you can just say delete and you can get rid of that. Okay. So coming back to our, oops, maybe not. Whoa, hey, look at that. That was fun. Okay. So coming back here, you're going to see the difference between good questions and bad questions. So to wrap up writing good surveys, because the goal of this week is collecting data. That's what we're going to focus on this week, is getting all your data done. Middle of this week, we'll have a like video conference back and forth so we can chat live. And then by the end of this week, Dr. Dinosaur will come back and show you how to make beautiful graphs using Excel and other online mediums. Oh my gosh, Dr. Dinosaur doesn't have hands to be able to find the mouse. So Just some quick recap things. Dinosaur head. Is make sure you're checking the calendar every day, at least once a day, to see what my updates are as far as the week. Get your data. There is no due date for the project right now, but you need to be collecting your data. Use either Google Forms or SurveyMonkey, or let me know if you have any questions. Send me out the remind. Get ready for some contact for emails, setting up Teams. I'm going to be setting up a Microsoft Teams account for our class, so we can keep learning online. And I hope that everyone is doing well, and I miss all of you.